Today we're going to be making our peppermint bark. Really delicious, really great snack. If you're looking for a frozen treat, I know a lot of the desserts that we have for Christmas are typically baked, and so they're warm usually. So it's nice to always have like that frozen treat, and this is going to be a great one for you. So these are all the ingredients that we have here today that we need. We have some low-calorie chocolate chips. We got some candy canes that we're going to crush up into our peppermint. We also got some unsweetened coconut flakes, rather. And so make sure you get the kind that is unsweetened. A lot of the normal kinds of coconut flakes are sweetened with a lot of sugar, so it's going to add a ton of calories, a ton of problems. We don't want that, and it's not going to make much of a difference taste-wise. So get the unsweetened coconut flakes. We also got some non-fat Greek yogurt, the vanilla flavor. If you don't have the vanilla flavor, you can just get the regular non-fat Greek yogurt and put some vanilla extract as well on top of this recipe. We also have some vanilla-based, sugar-free, fat-free Jell-O pudding mix, and that's going to give a nice consistency that we want with a good, strong flavor. We also got some pretzel sticks here that we're going to crush up just for a little bit of crunch. I personally like the crunch in the bark. If you don't, not a problem. You don't need to include that. And then last but not least, the star of the show, which will, I'm not going to say make or break the recipe, but I think it's a fantastic addition. And so that is going to be your peppermint bark, specifically protein powder. This is from Axe and Sledge. You guys can use code RIDZIK10 for 10% off if you do want to save yourself some money and get this protein powder. If you don't have access to this protein powder, you can use a vanilla-based protein powder and then flavor it up with some extra spearmint, peppermint, some sort of mint flavor as well. But I found this protein to be specifically good for this recipe because we are making peppermint bark and it's peppermint bark flavor. So these are all the ingredients. So first thing we want to do is we want to crush up all of these candy canes. And so the way I'm going to do that, I've already separated each of the candy canes from their wrappers. I'm going to toss all the candy canes into a Ziploc bag. Squeeze all of the air out of this bag as you can and lock it in tight. And basically, this is the fun part. We're just going to be smashing this bag. So we're just going to want our pieces to be crushed up as little as possible. Make sure you keep crushing as much as you can. A lot of them are going to crush unevenly, so you might have some dust and then some bigger chunks. That's okay if you have the dust. I'd really advise against the bigger chunks because when you're eating it, you don't want a whole chunk of peppermint in each bite or any one bite. So try to crush it up to when there's no more large chunks and they're all roughly bite-sized pieces. If you have kids, this will be the exercise for them to help you cook this recipe. They're gonna love this part of it. All right, so this is the consistency we're sort of looking for. I'll pour that out into this. And so we're looking for that sort of consistency. Everything's crushed up nice. We're gonna set that aside. All right, so now all the ingredients are pretty much prepped. So now what we're gonna do is get our mixing bowl and we're going to make the base of our peppermint bark, which is going to be made from our non-fat Greek yogurt to start off with. What we're going to want to do here is get roughly 1.5 cups to 2 cups of our non-fat Greek yogurt, vanilla flavored. Now obviously, the more that you make, if you say you want 2 cups, 3 cups, whatever, you can just multiply this recipe as much as you want to get either a thicker bark, a thinner bark, or just more of it. So, but for this specific recipe, we're going to be going in with 2 cups of our Greek yogurt. All right, so our Greek yogurt is in, it's 2 cups there. Next, we're gonna throw in 2 scoops of our Axe and Sledge peppermint bark protein powder. This is a fresh container, so I'm very excited to open this up, put it in. This is one of my favorite protein powders ever created. It smells amazing. So don't worry about the color too much. It looks like it's a brownish color and you're like, wow, it might be chocolate. It's not. That's just what happens when you mix the red from the candy cane with white in a powdered form. But 2 scoops of our peppermint bark Axe and Sledge protein powder going in. Roughly 50 grams of protein right there, alongside our near 30 grams of protein from the Greek yogurt. So that's in. And then the last step, at least in terms of mixing this up, is going to be to throw in our pudding mix. And so we're using a half packet And the full packet is 1 ounce, so use a half an ounce of your sugar-free, fat-free Jell-O pudding mix, vanilla flavored. All right, so that's in. And now it's just about mixing that up. And don't worry, it's seemingly going to be a little bit thick, but when you keep mixing it up, it'll form a nice consistency that'll give us a good frozen crunchy bark. All right, now that that's mixed up, we're gonna set this aside for just a quick moment, and we're going to prepare the baking sheet so we can get it ready for our bark. And so that's just as simple as getting a baking sheet and just lining it with some parchment paper. Very simple. You don't even need to spray the parchment paper. You can just throw that right on there. And the baking sheet's just so everything's stable. Now, you can do this in 2 ways. You can mix everything into the batter and then put that on the baking sheet, or the way that I like to do it, just so you can see all the different colors and all the things that are in the bark, is just a matter of pouring right now this bark onto the baking sheet. Make sure to scoop everything out of your mixing bowls as you can. You're already logging these macros anyway, so you might as well actually eat what you're logging. So we've got our batter onto the baking sheet, and now we're just going to want to spread that out evenly across the entire parchment paper. And you can make this as thin or thick as you would like, depending on more yogurt, less yogurt, the size of the baking sheet, how far you spread it. It really is up to your preference. So for this bark, I'm not going to go too thick or too thin. So now it's just a matter of putting our toppings on. So we're going to start off with our candy canes and just spreading that all across the bark on top. Spread it out nice and evenly so that you're not getting huge chunks of candy canes and then no chunks of candy cane. Don't forget about the edges as well. Got that. Now for our chocolate chips. Again, nice and evenly throughout the top. I like to have more candy cane than chocolate chips, of course, because it is a peppermint bark. But if you are a big chocolate fan, to go along with that, put some more chocolate chips. If you're not like me, throw less on. And these are low-calorie chocolate chips, so you can afford to have a few more if you would like. Then for our unsweetened coconut, just a few flakes over the top. If you're a coconut fan like I am, I'm going to put a little bit extra. That's going to be roughly half a cup of our unsweetened coconut. And I use roughly in this recipe about 4 tablespoons of our low-calorie chocolate chips. And then lastly, this is optional, but I do like crunch and a little bit of salt to go with this recipe. I'm going to crush up a few of these pretzel sticks just in my hand as I'm ready to spread it. Just a handful, which is, I would say, roughly 10 sticks, 10 of these thin pretzel sticks, which comes out to 25 calories. And then that's just a matter of sprinkling that on top. Done, perfect. All right, and this is going to be going into the freezer right there. Looks delicious for a few hours or until it's completely frozen and you can break it up. And we'll check back in once that's ready to eat. All right, so this is our delicious bark. It is effectively frozen. And now you can chop this up into some nice pieces. Good solid crunch there. Really break it open. You have to press quite hard because it is frozen. So really get up in there, break it up. And I like to break this up into roughly 12 or 16 different pieces or squares. For now, we'll just take a piece off of this corner right here. That's what it looks like. Of course, peel off the parchment from the bottom. You get your nice crunchy bark, all of this together. Let's give it a taste test. Delicious. Peppermint, crunch, chocolate to go with it. Absolutely delicious. So this is a great frozen treat. Could take the place of your normal ice cream. Still keep track on your goals. Delicious. I'm gonna throw the macros on the screen right here for you guys. Absolutely delicious, low calorie frozen treat for you guys this holiday. Really doesn't get much better than this. So that'll wrap it up for this video. It just goes to show that you can eat delicious stuff, frozen treats, whatever you want, and still achieve all your goals, especially during this holiday season. This will be a great treat for any of your friends, family, colleagues, whatever it might be to eat. So I will catch you guys in the next one. If you guys like this video, please feel free to check out any of the other recipes that we make, such as raspberry cheesecake. We've got red velvet cupcakes, chocolate chip cookies, whatever it might be, especially during this holiday season. Feel free to check that out. And I will catch you guys in the next one.